It's another pole position for Max Verstappen on the trot after leading a Red Bull 1-2 in Singapore from first on the grid, the young Dutchman finding the pace and confidence he lacked earlier in the season. Behind Max come the Ferraris, Ricciardo ahead of Vettel on this occasion after what was a dreadful race for them last time out. In fourth position comes Pierre Gasly, a shocking 7/10 off his teammate here in Malaysia. Reigning champion Stoffel Vandoorne put an incredible lap on the board today, matching Gasly right down to the 1000th, but since the Frenchman did it first, the young Belgian champion will have to settle for the third row of the grid, alongside one-time rival and current championship leader aarava. The struggling Nico Rosberg will start 2 positions behind his teammate after failing to score points in Singapore, and Hamilton is sandwiched between the Silver Arrows in 7th. Once again, Giovinazzi impressed on the Saturday, making a visit into the top 10 alongside Bottas on the 5th row. Antonio's solid performances have raised eyebrows all season long, and it's now believed that he might be making a move to the only other Italian team on the grid.
What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to my F1 MyDriver career mode, episode number 10 of season 3 at the Malaysian Grand Prix today. Another brand new circuit to the MyDriver career mode. We haven't had it in the past 2 seasons, so looking forward to what this race holds for us today. It's overcast at the moment, so we could see some rain later on, but if you missed the last episode at the Singapore Grand Prix, then you can click the card annotation in the top right of the video and check that out. But again, thank you guys so much for the support on this series. We've only got 4 races left, including this one, which is pretty crazy. The season's gone so fast, really, but I'm really glad that we're able to, it looks like we're going to be able to finish this series well before F1 2016 comes on our doorstep, so that's pretty damn good. Quite a crucial race for us actually today for the championship, going into that run-in of the last 3 rounds, because Ricciardo, Gasly, Verstappen, they're all there, and they're all there within 1 win, really, so we need to make sure we try and do the job in the first stint to make as many positions as we can, settle down for the race and try and lock that down, and hopefully we can try and beat at least one of the Ferraris today, and maybe even Red Bull. Let's see. We go to 5 red lights for the Malaysian Grand Prix. 28 laps ahead of us. We're underway, and again bogging down as per usual in this career mode. Hamilton gets a great start. Rosberg, my teammate on the left hand side, as well as Giovinazzi on the right hand side. So we go down towards turn 1, going 3 abreast into turn 1. Giovinazzi makes a dive bomb down the inside of Hamilton. We got both Ferraris, I think that is, going side by side of Verstappen. Takes the lead still into turn 3 there, or turn 2 I should say, and we're going side by side with Hamilton now on the exit. He's had a poor one, and we go right round the outside of him. We could even get Giovinazzi, yes we do, as he's had a poor runner now ahead of us. You can see both Ferraris going side by side, and also Gasly and Vandoorne, so this is looking pretty damn tasty. Could we maybe make a position if one of them trips over each other? So here we go into the swooping left-hander. Both of them going still side by side. Vandoorne getting squeezed out by Gasly. Both Ferraris still going side by side, but Ricciardo just got the better of him. And now we've got a great run on Vandoorne, going down the inside of him. We're leaving the room, but he's gone really wide there for some reason. And we're up into 5th place, and I think he's made some contact there, as I saw in my mirrors just briefly. And there's been a green flag, yellow flag, so I think there has been a bit of contact there. We get right up on the back of Pierre Gasly, so looking very, very punchy at the moment at the Malaysian Grand Prix. Looking pretty good, but let's look at a replay of what happened there. So this was Vandoorne squeezed out by Gasly there, and we're coming up his inside at this point. You can see him in the mirrors, and then here, just very, very odd, goes very, very wide. I left him so much room, and there, I think there was a front wing off, and I think it's our teammate Rosberg, so really unfortunate for him. So here we go, he's gone really wide, comes back on track quite dangerously, and Rosberg gets absolutely mullered there on the exit off that corner on the second part of that double right-hander, and so he's got no front wing. Thankfully no puncher for him, but that's going to really set him back in this Grand Prix. But I don't know why Vandoorne went so wide. I left him so much room there, had the door completely wide open to actually go side by side with me, so just a little bit frustrating for my teammate there that he's been caught up in that incident. So we move on later to the Grand Prix, lap 4 now, so it's taken us 4 laps to actually catch up to Gasly and try and get in his DRS. He got away from us actually initially after we closed up on him in that brake zone, but now he's going to go for a move on Daniel Ricciardo. So interestingly enough, Vettel has got away from Ricciardo, and he's up in 2nd place trying to chase down Verstappen. So Gasly fights over 3rd place with Ricciardo. Ricciardo's going to come back at him though with DRS. We've got DRS on Ricciardo as well. Giovinazzi as well, slipstreaming us. He goes left hand side of the circuit as Ricciardo tries to make a move on Gasly down the inside into turn 1. Will Gasly be able to hang around the outside? No, he does not. Ricciardo gets a great line into turn 2, and Gasly has to settle down for 4th place. We get right up his gearbox. You can see behind us as well, Hamilton and Giovinazzi going hammer and tongs. Well, Hamilton Hamilton is now up into 6th place, so the McLaren's looking pretty good at the moment with Van Dorn and Hamilton getting a poor start, but they're starting to come back at us now as we move on to lap 5. Still behind Gasly, who's chasing down Ricciardo yet again, going down his inside into the hairpin. So these guys really going at it. 2 championship rivals at the moment, and all 3 of us actually in championship contention at the moment, right within 1 second. So this is awesome to see as Hamilton now comes into the fray on the right hand side with DRS. We're going to slip through Gasly. We go to the left hand side of the circuit, going to be tight squeeze, but we just go around the outside of Pierre, and can we hang it around? We've gone wide though, we're locked up a little bit. We're going to give him the room. Gasly's still on the inside, but we'll just squirt the throttle enough hopefully to get this on the exit. No, Gasly gets us. He pushes us wide a little bit. We get poor traction. We have to settle down back for 5th place, but no, now we swing it round. We have got Pierre Gasly, and we're back up into 4th. So great stuff. We have got Pierre Gasly, and we're up into 4th, and now we can chase down Daniel Ricciardo in the Ferrari, and Hamilton there lurking behind Gasly right up his gearbox, looking pretty punchy at the moment, and Van Dorn right behind Giovinazzi. So this is all getting very close indeed. So now we move on to lap 6, closing down Ricciardo, but coming to this tricky right-hander, we've gone wide and locked up, just like Sergio Perez did back in 2012, and now Gasly's right behind us with DRS. We'll thankfully have some DRS on Ricciardo. Here you go. So let's try and see if we can just get some tow and just help us along. Hamilton behind, looks like he's going to make a move on Gasly, so this might help us out as we come into the hairpin corner. Ricciardo actually goes wide. He's going to go into the pit, so very early pit stop for Daniel Ricciardo, probably making a 3-stop here, but you can see in the mirror on the left-hand side, Hamilton is past Gasly, or trying to get past him. We're going side by side down to turn 1. We'll be 3 abreast going to turn 1. Hamilton just about squeezing on the outside there. Gasly not giving him too much room. Gasly squeezes him out wide, then cuts back on me and does a brilliant cutback job. He's now going to try and go around the outside of us in turn 2. We're going to try and defend as hard as we can, but he goes cleanly around the outside, and we just about make that through. Just about didn't break our front wing on Gasly's rear end, but he just made that. He made the overtake on Hamilton, squeezed him wide, and then did a lovely cutback there into turn 2. So now we're right behind him, right up his gearbox, maybe even tapping him a little bit, as we've got Hamilton for company right behind us, who's looking really punchy. The McLarens, they had a really shocking start. You can see Van Dorn and Hamilton right behind me, so they're looking very strong now. Looks like they got up to speed, just maybe some poor traction at the start of the Grand Prix. But now on to lap 7, you can see Hamilton there. Look at this, he's going to go down the inside. He looks at it, but things better of it where we go really nice and deep into the corner as we're coming into the pits, and Hamilton looks like follows me in there, and Gasly continues on. So I'm trying to basically cover off Ricciardo at the moment, because obviously Ricciardo at the moment is 2nd in the championship, and he's our main championship rival. Of course, Verstappen and Gasly are as well, but we need to think about our immediate 2nd place man, which is Ricciardo. So we're covering him off, because I think he's doing a 3-stop, so we need to maybe cover him off there. And my team also thought the same thing, as they thought it would be better, because the tyre will look quite poor on that first option tyre. Hamilton's actually jumped us, unfortunately, as we got held up by the Toro Rosso of Giovinazzi there behind us, you can see, as we come down the pit lane. So really unfortunate. So we're going to have to try and do some overtaking to overtake Hamilton. And there, Ricciardo, you can see the undercut has worked an absolute treat, and that was Sainz actually, not Giovinazzi, as Giovinazzi's ahead of us, and he's gone around the outside of Hamilton now. So Antonio and Daniel right past me and Lewis here, and they've done the undercut to an absolute T. And so that was Sainz who held us up in the pit lane, and we can see Magnussen behind us in 9th place, who might come into the fray as well. So we've got to do all the work now to try and re-overtake all 3 of these cars. We've lost effectively 3 positions in just a matter of 2 laps there with the pit stop phases. So the undercut looks like it's going to work quite powerfully here around Malaysia. So now we move on towards the back end of lap 8. Hamilton getting DRS on what will be Giovinazzi still, I think, and we're going to get DRS on him. So can we make a move down the inside? Here we go. We have the speed down the inside, hit the apex and squeeze him out, and we are up into 7th place, and now we can try and get on the back of maybe Giovinazzi, but no, Hamilton's going to come back at us. Great exit off that hairpin, and here he comes. He's not going to give up that position without a fight. So down to turn 1, you can see Gasly's coming out the pits as well, and Van Dorn will go around the outside of Pierre Gasly. Hopefully Hamilton's gone really wide, actually, surprisingly, and Van Dorn's going to have to stick behind all 3 of us. And so we come through into turn 2, and we're up into 5th place. We can see there is Sebastian Vettel, then Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, myself, Hamilton, then Gasly and Van Dorn. We're all so close within the span of 1 straight, but meanwhile Max Verstappen absolutely nowhere to be seen. He's completely bolted, much like Sebastian Vettel used to do in 2013. That Red Bull, with him under that right now for the past 2 races, have been absolutely unstoppable at the moment, unfortunately. So it looks like the Ferraris, and even including myself and maybe even the Toro Rosso, are kind of out of contention for this win. But as we move on to lap 10, Giovinazzi now making a move down the inside of Ricciardo into turn 1. The youngster, the Italian, making the moves on the bigger team, the Ferrari, the bigger Italian team, and he's up into 3rd place at the moment. So he's in contention for perhaps a podium at the moment. Absolutely fantastic for him. But now we swing through on Ricciardo. He's lost momentum after being overtaken by Giovinazzi. Can we make a move down the inside, taking the fastest lap of the fastest sector of the Grand Prix so far? We go side by side with the Australian man. Can we hang it around the outside? He's got great traction through the swooping left-hander. We'll keep it around the outside in 6th gear, go down to 4th gear to get the turn in, and Ricciardo goes a little bit wide, and now we've got that position, and we're up into 4th place. So now can we try and chase down the Italian in the Toro Rosso for 3rd? But he's doing absolutely fantastic going back to that. Would you believe it? Absolutely just, rookie season, and he's doing so well. He's so calm and collected. And so now we move on to the end of lap 10. You can see Ricciardo, actually, we haven't got away from him. He's still within DRS, so he should be able to try and get back at us maybe into the hairpin. We've got to do some defending here. And at the same time, I think Hamilton's also joining Ricciardo as he goes down my inside here, already before the brake zone ends. And Hamilton has gone down the inside of us as well. And he's gone down the inside of Ricciardo. A beautiful move from Hamilton as he just eloquently waltzes down the inside. He's up into 4th now. We're down to 6th. We'll get the slipstream in tow back on Ricciardo. Move to the left-hand side of the circuit. Gasly tried to make the move to the left-hand side as well in the mirrors, but he had to think better of it as I move to the left, round the outside of the Australian. Can we just hang it around the outside? Hamilton's going to have this for sure into turn 2, so he's definitely up into 4th, but we will squeeze out Ricciardo, and we are back up to 5th place. But that was really, really close. You saw there, hopefully, on the left-hand side in the mirrors, Gasly got so close to kind of colliding with us because he was also going to move to the left-hand side of the circuit, but then thought better of it. And now, onto the very next lap, Gasly now going down the inside of me, so Ricciardo's dropped down the order. Gasly and Van Dorn have overtaken him both, and now they're going, and we're going to get in a sandwich between both of them, Gasly and Van Dorn. And Van Dorn, look at this, going around the outside. We're going 3 abreast out of the last corner, down the back straight. Beautiful racing we've had at Malaysia on the return to the calendar after not being there for 2 seasons. And now Ricciardo being squeezed out by Giovinazzi, or Sainz, I think that is, sorry, Sainz. And now we go around the outside, trying to go back at Van Dorn, who's taken both me and Gasly. So, as I said, the McLaren's looking very, very strong now. They had a poor start to the Grand Prix, and now they're right back in there as Hamilton's completely waltzed off into the distance. And onto lap 14, Van Dorn's getting the gap to us as well. And into this corner, yet again, getting a really poor entry. This time we just go very, very wide on the exit, and Gasly cleanly passed us. And so we'll try and slipstream him. He'll have DRS, so he's going to get away from us. And now we've got Sainz behind us. Bit of a gap, though, thankfully. But I think we might come into the pits now to make this second pit stop. We are going to go into the pits, go wide into that corner, and take the wider line into the pit lane. We actually go really wide there. We actually get a bit of tank slapper on the entry. We actually go into the grass and lose some time, so that's not what you want. But we're into the pits now for another set of option tyres. But yeah, some great racing here in Malaysia, really. We haven't seen it in this series, as I said a few times, for the first 2 seasons. So good return to the calendar for us here with some great racing. So Sainz is into the pits with us, so he's making the 3 stop as well. Meanwhile, we lost track of Daniel Ricciardo, but he's actually already made his pit stop. You can see on the right-hand side that was a McLaren just going down the pit lane. The other McLaren of Hamilton and Ricciardo already made their pit stop. So as we come out of the pits right now, Ricciardo's actually going to be coming down the pit straight, and we'll just about see him here. Coming into turn 1, we'll go side by side. We'll just about try and stick our nose in to the Australian side pod. We'll go around the outside. Can we hang it through? Get the traction. Come on, let's get this done and try and overtake Ricciardo. No, he's got some good legs on him. That Ferrari engine showing up, the Mercedes one we've had all season, and we banged tyres a little bit, and he'll just squeeze us out. We have to give up that position and go down to 8th place. We'll try and get some traction on him and try and close up, hopefully, in the next few laps. But Ricciardo at the moment done the undercut on us. We're both making the 3-stop work. Gasly's come out into turn 1. You can see right behind us in 8th place, and that is Stoffel Van Dorn trying to overtake Ricciardo, who's also just come out of the pit. So you saw there, Hamilton made the earlier pit stop, and he's right down the road, kind of away from us. I don't think we'll be able to catch up to him, unfortunately, with 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. But Van Dorn right on the back of Ricciardo, and Gasly is being hampered, I think, by the Toro Rosso of Sainz. And Giovinazzi, I think, is still right up there, fighting for a podium, surprisingly. On to lap 18, to the middle part of lap 18, we go down the inside of Van Dorn. Caught him napping a little bit, actually, into that entry of that hairpin, so he got him. But Van Dorn now comes back at us down the inside. You can see the proximity arrows there and just about in the mirrors, but we'll squeeze him out, and we will keep that 6th place. So just caught him napping, had to make that move, opportunistic. We're in rich mix. We're really pushing hard to try and overtake Ricciardo, who is our main championship rival at the moment, in 2nd place. And so now we're on lap 19, going down to the hairpin in the slipstream with DRS. Down to the hairpin, we can't make a move, but we should be able to get something done on the exit of this corner, out to the final corner. Good drive. You can see we're getting away from Van Dorn and Gasly as well, so that's good to see. But here we go, setting the fast lap of the Grand Prix, I think that is, maybe. We swoop through our hand side of the circuit with DRS wide open into turn 1, do the move before the brake zone, but we've locked up. Ricciardo comes back round and swings back round into turn 2. We'll get it hopefully on the exit into turn 2. Yes, we will, thankfully, but we nearly mapped that up. We locked up quite badly into turn 1. but we have got that move made on Ricciardo, so that's really crucial for us in the championship. So now we move on to lap 20. We're in P5 at the moment, Hamilton P4, Ricciardo coming back at us now into the last corner. We're actually come through into the pit lane, and Ricciardo is going to do the same as well. So we both come in on the same exact lap for our final pit stop, and that compulsory prime tyre, the orange wall tyre. I was about to say yellow, orange wall hard tyre. Quite a disgusting tyre actually, so it's good that we're only going to be running it for about, 7 laps-ish. So we're into the pits now, good pit stop. Hopefully we'll stay ahead of Ricciardo as we come down the pit lane. Yes, we will. Now it's just a question of where we're going to filter out in this Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure Gasly is going to be making a pit stop as well as Sainz behind us. Van Dorn as well is a question to kind of answer, because I don't know exactly where he is in this Grand Prix and all of this in the pecking order, so we'll just have to see. But as we come out the pits, you can see Ricciardo behind us, and then Magnussen following on out of the pit lane, where you can see those brand spanking new orange wall, quite disgusting tyres actually, but we'll just have to make the most of it and try and see what we can do. So we're going to cut later on into this Grand Prix, lap 22, coming down the pit lane, and Sainz is in the pits, and we're up into 7th place. But with 6 laps to go, I'm getting a little bit worried right now, as Hamilton's in 6th place, Ricciardo at 8th. So where does that put Van Dorn and Gasly in all of this? Are they ahead of Hamilton? Hamilton making the 3-stop with us, I think, perhaps. I mean, he's quite down the road, so maybe he did the 2-stop, actually. And where is Van Dorn and Gasly? Have they made a 2-stop work? And if so, I think we have to kind of step back a bit and realise we've made a horrible mistake. And as we move on to lap 28, Max Verstappen has won the Grand Prix at the Malaysian Grand Prix, and we've caught up to Giovinazzi, you can see, and Hamilton is overtaking Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi falling down the order, also making a 3-stop, I think. But as we come through, I think we have to realise we have just made a huge blunder on the pit stops. We're down in 7th place, where we are fighting for 4th perhaps. We have finished in 7th place. Giovinazzi ahead of us yet again. Hamilton's overtaken him at the end, but that is actually a huge blow to our championship. We have made a shocking error that me and the team, we both decided the 3-stop to cover off Ricciardo, and also the tyres weren't doing too well. As we look at the results, Max Verstappen won the Grand Prix. Van Dorn jumped up to 2nd place in that Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly got up to 3rd. We were racing those two drivers only moments ago. We could have been right up there at the podium, but no, we made the 3-stop. Those two made the 2. Vettel down in 4th with making the 3-stop. Hamilton 3. All of us who made 3-stops, actually. Look at that. The rest of the top 10, all of us making 3-stops, and we fell down the order. The only 2 making 2-stops there in the top kind of 6 were Van Dorn and Gasly, and they've really benefited from it. And Verstappen is the only one who had the genuine pace to make the 3-stop work. My teammate, you can see, down in 16th place after obviously that front wing off, not able to recover. But that is actually quite a shocking result for us. That is really going to damage our chances in the title, and we really need to think back about what our strategy is going to be for the next race. We can't make another blunder like this, but that is really quite disappointing, because it was a fantastic race, a really great drive, I feel, but just the fact we made that extra pit stop really hindered us. But we covered off Ricciardo, so I thought we did the job there, but yeah, just didn't think enough about everyone else. So guys, if you have enjoyed that video nonetheless, it was some fantastic racing there. I think some of the best we've seen so far in this season, actually, going 3 wide into so many corners. Smash that like button if you did enjoy it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. New around here, do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll leave you guys with the post-race interviews. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
A good drive from you out there, but what seemed to be a poor strategy call means quite a disappointing finish for you. How do you see things?
Yeah, ultimately, yeah, disappointing finish, because we did have really good pace at the start, especially, we're behind Gasly and the 2 Ferraris at one point, and I thought, okay, it's looking good, we could maybe get a podium as well. So just, yeah, I think a combination of the team and I making the decision. I don't think it's any individual's fault for making the 3-stop, and ultimately, Ricciardo made a 3-stop strategy as well. Giovinazzi as well ahead of us. Well, I think all of us misjudged our pace on the prime tyre, and also that 3rd stint on the option tyres. The only one who was able to make that work was Verstappen. He won the race, obviously. So I think maybe a little bit optimistic at our pace and misjudging the strategy, but ultimately a really huge blunder, because I really feel like we could have been on the podium. We had the pace, the car was actually really good around Malaysia here, and we've made steps forward from Singapore with some upgrades. So ultimately I think we should have been right up there. So we're going to have to work on that next race, make sure we nail it down, especially with Verstappen and Gasly getting a lot of points. We need to make sure next race goes to plan, and we can be right up there fighting for a podium, hopefully, at Abu Dhabi, which is also another favourite circuit of mine, along with Canada. So we'll see how it goes But yeah, ultimately disappointing because we did feel very promising at the beginning of the race.
So I'm not sure if you know this yet, but after this race, Verstappen is now level with you on points, and Pierre is just 1 point behind that. Is this title slipping through your fingers?
It's difficult to say, really. I knew that Verstappen and Gasly caught up, not quite that much though. So it's close. It's close. It's close. I don't know what else I can really say. It's very tight. But you know, last season, it was close as well with me and Stoffel, and that went right down to the wire. And this year, the car's worse, perhaps, over the course of the season in general. And we're still fighting, so I think that shows great, great response, great character from us and the team to be able to be in this position with probably arguably a worse car, and Red Bull with a better car than McLaren was last year. I think they've been very inconsistent though, so let's hope that inconsistency comes up again, because they've been pretty consistent for the past 3 races. So let's hope the beginning of their season comes back in the same way, and they can maybe trip over one another or something like that. Obviously, going into the next few rounds, Ferrari, McLaren will be improving as well, along with us, not just us. So hoping that maybe everyone can just get in a mix and get in a fight, and we can get right in there as well. And we'll have to see how it goes. But I don't want to think about the title too much. Just take it race by race. I think that's going to be the best way to do it.
All right, thanks for your time.
Cheers, thanks.